Hello, this is Alan Lawrence, alanlawrencephotography.com. And often in architectural photography, you're asked to take photographs of buildings or stores where they're open, so there's people moving in and out. And I'm going to show you how to remove those people in Photoshop. While I'm using this for architecture, this can easily be done for travel photography as well. So let's say you're taking a photograph of a beautiful cathedral and there's people walking around. As long as those people are moving, they're easy to remove in this same method. So what I've got here is I've got a Nordstrom's rack over in Totem Lake, and I took a series of photographs, as you can see, as people were coming and going through the image. Now the key here is to take as many images as you can while looking at various zones and making sure that zone is clear. So what I'll do is I'll watch this part, then I'll watch this part, and I'll keep moving across the scene until I have a series of images where at some point or another there's nobody in that particular zone. And then the final product is going to be something like this, which is the image, the building, wherever it may be, with no people. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So right now I've got 6 images here. I'm going to highlight all those images. Now I've already adjusted the images in Lightroom in the develop module, and what I'll do is I will go through, and I was on a tripod, so all the images are, and I was shooting manual, so all the images were basically the same as far as exposure. And I made all of my Lightroom adjustments and I synced them across all the images. Once I've done that, I'm going to right click, edit in, and open as layers in Photoshop. What this is going to do, it's going to bring up Photoshop, and it's going to take all the images and stack them in multiple layers. This might take a few seconds. So we'll just let it work its magic real quick. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it and come back when all the images are in layers. Okay, we're back. And as you can see here, all the images, the 6 images that I brought into Photoshop as layers, are stacked up here in the layer panel. You can also see I was shooting with a Nikon D850, which is 47 megapixels. So our image already is at 1.5 gigabytes. You won't have these large of images unless you're shooting with a high resolution camera like that, and it'll take much less time. This computer's pretty souped up, so it does pretty well, but it takes some time with these files. So the first thing I want to do is I want to highlight all of my layers. So I'm going to click on the top layer, shift, and click at the bottom layer, and that's going to highlight all the images. And then I need to go to filter, convert for smart filters. So I'm going to click on that, and with these file sizes, it's going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. So once again, I'm going to pause the video and come back when the conversion is completed. Okay, and we're back. And as you can see now, all the layers have been combined into one smart layer, and it's signified by this little symbol here in the lower right hand corner of the layer panel. Next thing I'm going to do, and one of the things you have to notice, is the door was moving throughout the various images. It was open, it was closed. So I'm going to show you how to fix that, because that's going to look kind of funny when we get finished here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go to Layer, and I want to go to I'm sorry, not Layer. Yes, Layer. And I want to go to Smart Objects, Stack Mode, and Median. There's various other modes here. Maximum will pick the highlights, minimum will pick the dark areas, but median is the one that we want to use for this process. So I'm going to click that. And what that's going to do, it's going to do its magic, and it's going to go through basically and look for things that are the same in all the images, and try and remove the objects that aren't the same. And like I said, this is a great way to get rid of tourists in your travel photos. Just make sure you're on a tripod and take as many images as necessary to get rid of the people. And as you can see, it did a really good job. If I zoom in here, you can see there's some artifacts in here, just a few. And what I could do, normally what I would do is kind of go through with my clone stamp tool and remove some of these artifacts. But I know that this area here is the area that I'm going to replace because I want to get it with the doors closed. So let me go back to the fit screen again, and I'm going to go back to Lightroom now, and I'm going to look through my images and see, find the one, because I made sure I had one where the doors were closed. And here's the one where the doors are closed. So I'm going to right click that image, go to Edit in Photoshop. And now that's going to bring that image in as a new image in Photoshop. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to Control A or Command A, and I'm going to hit, that's to select all. Then I'm going to hit Command or Control C to copy. I'm going to come back to my other image here, and I'm going to say fit screen, and I'm going to hit Control V to paste. And now, as you can see, it's created a new layer with the other image over the image that I had already taken. But here's my closed door. So the next step I want to do is select that, and I can use the polygonal tool or any of my selections. I could use the lasso. For this one, I'm going to use the polygonal, and I'm going to start right about here, and I'm just going to roughly pick and select the part that I want to bring in. And then I'm going to create a mask. So that's this symbol down here in the layers panel, add layer mask. So I'm going to hit that, and there is my mask. And the one thing I'm going to do for sure, double click on the layer mask, which is this black part. As you can see, it's black conceals and white reveals. So you can see on my mask down here, if I alt click the mask, you can see that it's blacking out all of the image except for the part that I selected. And because I'm blending these two images, I want to add some blur here, some feathering, I mean. I'm hit alt click to get back out of there. Now my doors are closed, and I've nicely feathered so that you can't even tell that it's there. And the last thing I'm going to do is hit File, Save, and that will bring that image back into Lightroom, and there you go. So again, this is a great way to remove tourists from your travel photos, or remove people from your architectural work. Very simple to use. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day.